Yeah, they all have this peaky feeling.
The peaky
yeah,
feeling.
it's the feeling of the series. It's the story.
Quite ego, manly worlds that they're depicting, right? Hey guys, welcome back to another Composers React, and we're here with Aleksandra.
Hi.
Aleksandra is doing social media management on Hunchback, but also plays the guitar a little bit, and also you have an intriguing style, right? What you like, or at least an eclectic style of what you like in music.
Yeah, but I think I like a lot of different types of music, and I also collect vinyl, so a lot of the 80s is a big part of the music I listen to. So I think that influences what I watch as well.
The 80s. And of
Yeah.
course, like I'm not sitting here normally for this because you brought something which is a very stylized and cool series. What did you bring?
Yeah, I brought the Peaky Blinders trailer for season 5, and I'm so excited about it because it's one of my all-time favorite series. So yeah.
It's awesome. With our game studio, we actually worked with the same third-party studio, Molenair, that also recorded a lot of Peaky Blinders, which is cool. So we just dive into it and see what we think of season 5 of Peaky Blinders.
When I sleep, I dream, and in my dream, someone wants my crown.
Intense man.
And also I love that it's a female.
That is God, and that are the Peaky Blinders.
Very cool style.
People thinking I'm
Love
gonna
the
fall.
piano.
Who's gonna take the throne, eh?
We have never even heard of your people, so we are not afraid
It's
of
gritty.
your threats.
It's
They
kind
said
of
that Tommy Shelby
uneasy
was a
if
spent
you
horse.
watch it.
He was spent in the head.
3, 2, 1, bang.
Nice.
So, Tommy Shelby, it's what you want.
The elegant
It's what
style
you
is...
shall have.
I love that. Oh, this is cool. There you got your guitar.
This makes me so happy.
And one of you will die. But which
That's cool.
one I cannot tell.
Mr. Shelby, you've come to my attention. I will have need of men like you, except there is no other man like you.
He has a very intense look.
It will be Tommy Shelby who's crucified, and there will be no resurrection.
Wow. Oh, this is very, this is like ripping the guitar. I like that.
Now.
No one is going to hang you, Tommy. You're going to hang yourself.
You have some kind of death wish, Mr. Shelby.
That's cool.
Nothing can stop us.
Look at that.
Now you've had
Nice. Wow. Man, I didn't expect that. I haven't seen this trailer. I love how they combine this kind of older style with this more newer music, but it works great.
Yeah, it's also, that's why I love the series so much, because even from the trailer you can you get a sneak peek of how the whole soundtrack is.
Yeah.
And I love that it's set in the 1920s, but they use music from nowadays.
Yeah,
So-
like 80s, 90s as well, like when
Yeah.
they're ripping the guitar and a little bit in the new jackets, which is working because you have the elegant vibe of this, of kind of the period where it's playing, and then you have like the more gritty guitar that works so, it's very bluesy. It gets this, it's a little bit dirty as well. I like that.
Also, I think like in the beginning it starts very kind of romantic, but you feel this uneasy feeling to it, and then it just goes wild.
It's indeed the piano, and it's used a lot to set the tone, but it's like dark and it's nice, and or it's elegantly nice, but there's always that undertone on it, and then they kind of rip it, which makes it epic to me, without having to use epic trailer music, because then it becomes a little bit too bombastic. This is the perfect mix between this kind of more true detective-ish grittiness, but then with that elegance. I think that's a super cool combination.
Yeah.
So if you see this, of course, this is season 5 already. They have had so many promos, they have so many like seasons. Do you think they still got you on edge when you saw this, when the season was announced?
Yeah, I think so, because even if I haven't seen the season, from this trailer, I feel that the main character has some inner issues that he wants to resolve. It starts easy, but then it's very loud. So maybe there's something inside of him that he feels the same way.
Yeah.
Like he's being very loud, but his inner self is struggling with something. So for me, it's still very interesting to see how they develop the story, even just from the music.
And if you watch this, right? Like for me, it's sometimes quite hard to not be analytical about this whole process and listening to the thematics and the team scored with kind of these characters. Can you enjoy it, or do you also analyze kind of a lot of these musical themes that are attached to these characters?
For me personally, I analyze everything. So I analyze even the female voice, and I've also read a lot about this, but it's his inner self trying to connect with, I'm not going to spoil anything, with some people from the past. So for me, every little detail means something in the music as well.
Yeah, I said it. It's these sounds and the recordings made, and you have a lot of like VO and stuff and sound effects. And I believe Molenaar, where we also worked together with on Deliver Us Mars, was doing a lot of Peaky Blinders, which was cool because when we visited the studio in London, I believe they were re-recording something in that sense. So I saw part of the cast coming in and out. This is what a lot of people don't know, right? Is you have these series and everything is recorded, but if you really go into it and all the sound design that goes into something like this, or even re-recording stuff that is not in use anymore, then you need to be quite creative in solving this. Hey, and if you, this is like a very popular series. I haven't watched it, so I still have 5 seasons, or how many seasons are there?
6.
6 seasons.
You need a lot to catch up on.
For me, it's to some extent always like such a commitment. Like I have this one series that I need to watch, and then I need to kind of manage the time a little bit to check out all these things. But the style is really intriguing to me, and especially that mix. Would you say that the trailer music used here is a very good depiction of all seasons?
I think so, yeah, because they have all of the songs, and because the score is original and it's created by a woman, and I've read a lot from her side of creating the score. So I think all of the songs, they have this feeling of uneasy but romantic, and still, they all have this peaky feeling.
Peaky feeling.
It's the feeling of the series. It's the story, because it's the younger brother. It's not the oldest brother. So it's the same feeling for the
So
story
what do
and the
you
music.
think, in a sense, like you have this quite ego, manly world that they're depicting, right? Like it's quite male driven, and then they use a female composer. What do you think of that nice little dynamic?
I think it's really interesting because also she was an opera singer, so it's something completely different than what she's done before. But also, even though it's a men's world in the series, they are supported by women, and I feel like the music really connects to that because there's a lot of strong female characters in the series.
Yeah.
And he feels like the main character feels this inner voice of females, and I think the songs reflect that.
That's really cool. I like to mix things up like that, where you have a little bit of that dynamic, and especially like female composers, they need to be celebrated a little bit more, because also the composer in the sound world, I'm not sure if it has to do with being so like nerdy and nitpicky, like technical, that males feel more kind of pulled towards like something like that. Same kind of happens with programming. But now I think it's kind of opening up now, and there's more podium, or at least there's more the spotlight also on female composers, sound designers. I do actually remember walking into Molenaar, where they recorded a few things, and they had this Foley room where they kind of record all these like small things. And there were like 2 women there, and they were just throwing like dirt against the wall, and like they were stamping in water to do all this like effects. And for some reason, I expected like men to be there, but it was like 2 women. And I love that. It's like, it was such a very nice and pleasant surprise to say, yes, that's what we need more, and we need to give that more voice. So awesome. Thanks for sharing that. That's really good. Peaky Blinders. It's definitely something I have to watch, and I didn't have time for it. I know the main character, of course, is a favorite of Christopher Nolan.
Yes.
He's in many of the films, and there's a new one coming, Oppenheimer.
I'm so excited for it.
Yeah, he is an intriguing man, so I'm very curious how he's gonna take on that role.
He's so interesting, and I think they also have a very good relationship because he's also in previous movies of Christopher Nolan, so it might be good.
We'll see. Very curious, guys, but what was your favorite season? Or maybe there's a special episode that stayed with you from Peaky Blinders. Definitely share that in the comments. Also, if you have any other ideas on like trailers, maybe even music clips that you want us to react on with specific composers, please let us know in the comments. Please like as well if you do. Click the bell button if you want to be alerted when we post videos. But for now, I want to thank you for watching and see you next time. Hey there, I appreciate you watching the video. If you like this one, check out this video or that video. And if you want to support the channel, make sure to click on top of my head on the logo and subscribe to the channel.